So that shiny new game just came out, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, and you want to know if it's worth your time, right? Well, let's take a look at the game first and first impressions. Keep in mind this is not a full review, this is a quick look at the game. I played the game for an hour and a half, so I'll show some footage of the game while describing it and giving a few thoughts on it. I'm a little mixed on this game series as a whole, to be honest. The first game, while very interesting and cinematic, was a little boring to actually play, so I never finished it. I ended up watching the scenes on YouTube instead. This game is very similar to the first, I think. I hate to say anything bad about this game, as it looks incredible, but again, I was a little bored. This seems more like an interactable movie and less so a game. I played for an hour and a half, and it's more or less a walking simulator with very simple combat sequences. You have two ways to strike, and then a dodge. A little later on, you'll get a mirror that makes you faster in combat also. The graphics, the world, the story, it's all interesting and good looking. But yeah, I'm just a little disappointed that the gameplay is so similar to the first one is all. That's how I feel though, and I'm sure there's some of you out there who will completely disagree with that and love everything about this game. There's also some minor puzzle sequences, lining up some symbols is all, like in the first game. There's 4 difficulties, dynamic, easy, medium, and hard. I chose dynamic, which adjusts the game's performance based on how well you're doing, but it felt really easy the whole time to me, at least so far. The game begins with Senua as a slave on a boat captured by the Northmen. Her goal is to play the victim and find where they're coming from to stop the slavers. However, the ship sinks into the sea, and then when she gets to the island, the walking begins. Basically walking for a while, seeing things, hearing voices, like she always does, until eventually she gets a sword and those easy combat scenes start happening here and there. She faces the leader of the slavers from the ships, defeats him, but keeps him alive. They get to the village, but everyone is dead and the village is in ruins. After doing some more simple matching and more walking, you reach a man being held captive. You find a lot of people here and then you rescue him. While he takes you back to his village, a giant attacks. A literal giant. The thing is massive and pretty neat looking, honestly. I actually got off right after this part as it took an hour and a half to actually get here. So yeah, it's really just a quick look at the game. I don't dislike this game. I think the game is very cinematic and I think the story is good, and I was interested in the game's story as a whole. It's just that the gameplay felt lacking to me. It doesn't feel like there's too much to actually do when playing, other than following the path with minimal running or combat here or there. Also, one downside to this game is that the black bars are perpetually stuck on the screen, unless you have an ultra wide screen, and I don't have one, so I had to deal with that. As for performance, my FPS was running around 60 to 75, 1440p, DLSS on quality, and a mixture of settings on max and a few on medium, and that's with a 3080 Ti. Overall, I do like this game. The story and the graphics do overcome the lack of actual gameplay in my opinion, but at the same time, I really wish that there was more emphasis on actual gameplay, instead of this seeming more like a movie with gameplay elements. Though that's my personal opinion. Whether or not this is your type of game, I'll see you on the next one.